Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Today, we're getting to work on the cylinder head for the 212 build we got going on. I'm going to do my best to try to port it right now and polish it out. The exhaust will be fully polished. The intake will only be slightly polished. It'll maintain kind of a rough texture to keep atomization in the fuel. I talk a little bit about in the video about what sides I want to cut down and what sides I want to leave. Try to get that swirling effect in the cylinder head or in the valve. So yeah, let's check it out and let's do our best to port and polish this head. So I was going to get started on the head. I found my Champion rockers I had here, but I've discovered another problem. When you're rotating the block and the piston goes down, comes back up, and then goes down again, on the intake side of the cam, the lifter is pushing against the cam too hard, and it won't go up in the bore enough to let the cam go by. So it's really tight. I don't know if that's a good way to explain it. I'll try when I get the side cover off. I'll try to get a picture inside of what I'm talking about. So I think I'm gonna have to go back to the stock lifters. I mean, these are brand new. They've never been used. So I think they'll be okay. Should be fine. But they don't have the dimension right here where it's kind of a radius or kind of a... it's got more material right here on the billet lifters. So they won't allow it to go up far enough into the lifter bore. So I may have to go back to these. We're going to open it up and we're going to find out. And we'll get back to the head situation a little bit later. So I've got the cam out and taking a look at the lifters. You can see the stock lifter on the exhaust side goes in a lot further than the billet lifter on the intake side. That's where my problem is. These larger cam lobes on the 308 cam need the extra space here to rotate. So yeah, I'm thinking this is the better way to go. Here's another look at them down here. You can clearly see right here. This is the little radius piece I was talking about, where this does not have it on the stock one. This is where I'm having my problem. Now I could go and chamfer these holes out a little bit more, and that might make room for that extra material that makes these so much stronger, you know. I don't know, but right now we're just gonna go with the stock lifters. We'll put those in and we'll run them. If we find problems later, we'll go back to these and we'll modify the block to accommodate them, or maybe we'll do a different block that doesn't have such a big cam. I think the 265 cam would probably work fine, but this 308 is causing a problem. So yeah, maybe when we take that engine apart on Mighty, maybe we'll put the billet lifters in there, because I might put this 265 cam in that one. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this all back together with the stock lifters, and we'll be ready to go again. Okay, so I've got the block I'll put back together with the stock lifters. It's all timed, side covers back on. We're good to go. I just try to keep that covered to keep some of the debris from getting on it, on the piston. Now I'm taking a look at the head, and I'm going to get a burr. I got a little aluminum burr here, and I'm going to get in there and attack this area right here. I want to get rid of this, smooth out this transition right here. Down here on the bottom as well. I don't know if you can see that. Right down here on the bottom as well. All right there. And maybe a little bit on this side. And I want to take down this top side here too. Right below the valve seat. Being careful not to touch the valve seat. Now, we haven't lapped the valves in yet. That'll be one of the last things I do. But I'm going to go ahead and clean these up. Like I said, get this area right here, down here on the bottom. And maybe enlarge it a little bit. I'm not sure. It looks pretty small. but I don't want to mess with it too much. You know, I want to try to keep this side on this side intact. On that side, see that side right there? I'm going to try to leave that intact because I want it to, as the air goes in, kind of create, that'll go in and create like a wall, and the air coming in on this side will create like a Venturi effect, and it'll cause the air to swirl as it comes out of the valve, in theory creating better distribution of the air fuel ratio. So that's my plan. Let me know in the description if you think of something different, but that's what I'm going to do. I'll try to leave it as textured as I can. On the exhaust side, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to hit both sides, and probably down here along the bottom, of course again up here on the top, and then we're going to smooth it out as far as we can, as much as we can on the inside, to increase that flow. So an engine is basically an air pump. Air goes in, goes through the cylinder, air goes out, and the faster you can get it in and the faster you can get it out, the more performance you'll have. You know, the more efficient your engine will be. So it's pretty basic, I guess. This will be only the second time I've done this. I did it on the 224 Hemi head, but this will be the first time that I really do it on a regular 212 head. Well, this is a G160 head, but anyway, this will be the first time I do it on this type of head. So these ports inside look a lot smaller than, well, you can't see them because you can't see them, but they look a lot smaller than the stock head, even though the valve size is the same. We'll get in there and we'll open them up and we'll smooth them out as best we can, leaving the intake a little bit textured for the air mixture and atomization, and we'll smooth out the exhaust. So here we go. I'm gonna get started, get my Dremel out, use my little bit here to get in there and take out the material I want us to take out, and then we'll smooth it out. Okay, I've got my Dremel ready. I hope my burr is long enough. It may not be long enough to get deep inside there, but we'll do our best, the best we can. So looking at this is the exhaust side, this is the intake side. We'll do the intake side first. It's going to be some shavings going around. Always wear your safety glasses anytime you're working around this stuff. What? We got no power? Here we go. It's not really long enough. Ooh, that's scary. But it is knocking it down pretty good. Now you don't want to undercut too much and create like a bowl in there. You want to just flatten it out. Just take out the excess material right there. Like I said, I'm gonna leave one side kind of still like it was. I only took out a little bit of material on the bottom, and I'm gonna try to get right there a little bit more. Trying to be careful. I don't want to mess up this new head. Scares me when it does that. I think that's enough on the bottom. Now I need to get the hardest part right underneath. Oh, right underneath the valve seat. This is where you really got to be careful, because I do not want to damage the valve seat. So I'm gonna that looks pretty good. We'll round it out with a stone. on the top. That took out the most of the material. See, a little bit more. Okay. Whew, I can breathe again. Man, makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. Now, it's a good idea, too, if you can stick tissues or something down inside the valve guides. I didn't do that. I should have. It just keeps debris from getting down in there. But honestly, we're going to blow it out with the air compressor, and then we're going to wash the head again once we get all the sanding done and the filing. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle this exhaust side. Hopefully, I have success with that as well. All right, so I've got it done for the most part. I wish I had a smaller, what is that, Scotch-Brite pads or something. I wish I had a smaller one. I was trying to cut them down a little bit or something. I used my little burr here, and I used a larger burr right here to get in there and knock down the sides. The top, like I said, bring down all this area. I was able to get in there, polish it out as best I can. I don't know if you can see that, but it polished up. It polished up pretty nice. I don't know, can you see that? Maybe. This side I left kind of rough. I did go through it gently with the green pad, but I left it for the most part rough. Like I said, I wish I could get in there with a smaller sanding disc and smooth out right underneath the valve seats a little bit. But hey, it looks good. It should flow a hell of a lot better than it did before. And you know, this is only the second time I've ever done that. I think it turned out pretty good. Intake sides got a nice texture to it. You know, it really feels kind of rough. Yet I did open it up a little bit. I opened it up around the valve guide and smoothed out this side. Left this side a little bit rough. I want to get that circular motion going in there. The exhaust side, I took down both sides. And then I opened it up a lot too. And it's really smooth inside. It's really smooth. I think that's gonna be a lot better than it was. It opened up quite a bit, and yeah, I like it. All right, now you've seen me do this before. We've got the valve lapping material out. We're gonna put a little bit of the lapping compound. Ah! Boy, you can't even make that up. Oh my gosh. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. It wouldn't come out of the tube. Ah, it's funny. Make sure I don't have any on the guide. Wow, that was crazy. I did not see that coming. Stupid thing just exploded. That was funny. Anyway. Let's get this done. Alright, so I put a little bit of oil on the valve stem. We'll clean that up later. I like to try to put a little bit of saliva on the valve. Don't press too hard. You can kind of hear it as it works in. Doing pretty good. Lift it up every once in a while. Move it around. We're looking for a solid line. see how we did. Oh yeah, we did perfect. Look on the valve. Can you see that line all the way around? Nice and smooth. Looks good. Very good. Here's nice and shiny. The other valve we haven't done yet. It's nice and shiny. See that on the valve? This one's got that nice line all the way around. Very good. It looks really good. All right. I think that's good enough. Let's pull the valve out. I'm checking it out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we gotta wash these really nice, so and the head, so we get all that grind compound out of there. This one too, see that little ring? That's a perfect ring all the way around. Nice. I like it. Woo, perfect. All right. So that worked out well. Now, it's time to clean up once again. We have quite a mess here. We don't want this stuff sticking around on the head. So I'll be washing the head and I'll be washing the valves with soapy water and then blowing it out to get all the water out of everywhere. Just take my Autolite spark plug out, set it aside, and we'll get this thing washed out. Whew, man, what a pain in the butt. I put the 26-pound springs in there. The 36-pound springs just didn't fit over the intake seal. So I put the 26 pounds in there. I might look for some single spring 32-pound. I think they're out there. I'll look around for them. If so, I'll put the 32-pound in there like the cam card says. These keepers, man, they're great. But man, they're a pain in the butt, I think. I don't know the secret to putting them in there. But I think they're a pain in the butt. I know they're more dependable and better quality, but man, those things are hard to get down in there. So the valves are in, keepers are in. Now we need to work on the rockers. We got some lash caps right here we can put on when we're ready, but I'm not ready yet. I didn't put the shims under there. I don't know if they would be needed. It might have helped bring the spring up from 26 maybe to 26 and a half. I don't know, whatever that spacer does. We could have put it in there, but I didn't. I just left it like this, and well, it's good. You know, they open pretty tight too. Pretty tight, but we got it. I'll put the lash caps back in the bag so that I don't lose them while I'm working on the rest of it, and I'll put my compressor tool away so I can have a clean work area. All right, so I have a set of Champion rockers I use in a few engines back. I think it was Mighty's engine. I don't remember why I replaced it, but it's got a bad stud. These come with, where'd the other one go? These come with, oh duh, it's right there in front of my face. These come with studs that screw down in and nuts that go on the studs, and then it holds down the body. This one, however, got stripped out when it was put in, when it was installed, and well, I got a new stud and I got a new nut, so I need to get it out. I'm just gonna go ahead and clamp it on with some pliers, probably take my 10mm and just tighten it or loosen it up. Hopefully that works. We'll just go ahead, and I don't care if these threads get damaged, you know. I just need to hold it long enough to get this off. And that's not working. Okay, so what else can we do? Oh, you know what we could do? Oh no, this is the wrong size nut. down. How am I gonna hold those? I need to get some vice grips. So I locked on with some vice grips. Was able to get it off. This is junk now. I'm not gonna take the chance on using it again. I definitely have a new stud. I think it came with a new bolt too. But you can see how the threads got damaged when I torqued it down on the head. Yeah, I think I over torqued it. I think I used my foot-pounds torque wrench instead of my inch-pounds, and it just stripped it out. So we'll make sure we keep those two together. And yeah, the bolt or the nut is wiped out too. So I have another one. I have a new one, and we'll definitely be putting it in there with some blue Loctite. So I'll get that other one and we'll get busy. So here's the new one. I got it all ready to go. We'll put some Loctite down in here, and there's some blue Loctite. We may pull these out again. I may wind up doing something different. Who knows? But we don't want them to come out. Ooh, that's a lot. I'm going to share that between the two of them. Just like that. And we'll screw them down. Now you could double nut these and tighten them down, and it's probably the right thing to do. I don't know what they would be torqued to. Maybe 17 foot-pounds or inch-pounds or something. That one doesn't really want to go down in. That's interesting. That's the new one. It doesn't want to go down in there. I don't want to mess up the threads either. That one goes in great. I think I have another one actually. Let me get it. Yeah, I got another one here. Champion rocker studs. Let's see. One of these fits better than that one. I don't know why that one's not going in. But we'll just take some of that. We'll try this one. Hopefully this one will go in. Yeah. That one goes in better. I'll just double nut it. Tighten down on them. Well, there we go. We just need to torque down the studs and loosen up the adjustment screws. Put the lash caps on, and we're ready to bolt the head on. It looks pretty good. I think it's going to work really nice. I don't have a way to flow test it. Now they do say you can put water right here, and with the spark plug in, put water and see if it leaks out, or you can do it this way as well. Put water inside each side and see if you get any leaks out of here, and then you'll know if your valve seats and your lap job is good. But I saw the ring all the way around. I'm calling it good. I don't have any problem with it. You can put the spark plug back in. This is an Autolite, the 3910X. You know, it's the racing plug. It's a nice plug. I like them. I like to use them. A lot of people say we don't have enough power for them with the coils, the stock coils. But I mean, I use Paul's Karts hot coil, and yeah, it has more than enough power for it. So I don't have any problem using that. Looks really good. Let's see here. I've got my where's my head? Oh, here's my head gasket. I've got my head gasket here. We'll just stick on, and we'll hang the head on there. That much closer. Look at that. Let's get a bolt. Just put one bolt in there to hold it. Just to hold it so it doesn't fall off. Look at that. Would you look at that? Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Done a lot of work to this little engine. We're still going to work on getting our geometry right for our valves. I don't think, you know, like I was saying, these need to be loosened up so we can get the right adjustment on there, get the lash caps on, and then put the push rods in once the head is torqued down. I've got studs though for the head that I've got to get in here and use. And yeah, it's coming along really nice. Now I'm really debating to paint this engine or not. I want to paint the engine a gloss black or a semi-gloss black, and then I'll have the billet side cover, I'll have the billet valve cover, I'll have the plate on top, I'll paint it black, the cooling tins on the side, the shroud and stuff. I don't know what color I'll paint that for this motor, but you know, I'm tossing around a couple ideas of orange or yellow, green, different colors. But my engines are normally red and black, you know, and I really want to have something different that really pops and stands out. So I know the block though, I want to paint it black, and I'll probably do it once I have it no, maybe I'll do it before I have the head on. I know I gotta wash it down and I gotta mask it off. That's gonna take a minute. Yeah, but it looks good. You know, we got the plugs in there blocking the governor holes and the oil fill hole, or not the oil fill, the oil pressure sensor, or oil level sensor, excuse me. I knew I'd get it right eventually. You know, we got the fills right here. We got places for the barbs. The barbs are gonna have two hoses coming over to the head. It's gonna look amazing. In fact, where is that head? The head's right here. I keep calling the valve cover a head. You know, well, look at that. Woohoo! That's gonna look nice. That's gonna look, especially if the motor, if the engine block and head are black. That's gonna look. I wish this was as polished as that is. You know, I may have to. I don't know. I may have to get it, polish it up some. But I mean, that is super, super nice. Gonna look good. Gonna look good. Today, we're still working on the Monster 212 build that I started. This video has turned into multiple parts or episodes, but hey, it's just the way it turns out. I'd like to talk about where I'm at right now, and let's take a look. So I have the engine somewhat put together. I do not have a head gasket in it. I wanted to put it together for valve clearances, trying to get this geometry, and well, yeah, I've run into some problems. Originally, I picked up these push rods, chromoly push rods. I believe it was from OMB Warehouse, but they're NR Racing push rods, and they're 5.260, and it's just a little bit taller than the stock push rod. The stock push rod, from what I understand, is 5.200. So the stock push rod seems to work. I don't know if you can hear that. I've got the right amount of lash on there, 3/1000. My exhaust might be a little bit tighter, but the 260 push rods didn't fit. They were solid down on actually pushing the valves in. So I'm gonna order up the correct push rods, chromoly push rods, for the 5200. Basically, I believe they're the stock push rods. I'm gonna go ahead and order those up, so I'll have those on hand, and we'll go ahead and we'll put the head gasket in. I've got a 10/1000 head gasket right here. From what I can see, without a head gasket right now, I have no piston to valve contact, and I don't have any coil or coil spring binding. So I think the geometry's good. There are 26-pound springs in there right now. I know the 308 cam says 32-pound, but I couldn't find 32-pound. I found the 36 double springs, these here, but they don't fit without some extensive machine work inside, and I don't have the tools, and I don't want to spend the money to do that. So I went with the 26-pound springs, I've seen people talking about they run them with 308 cams and with no problem. You might wind up maybe with valve float at the higher RPM. But I did finally find some 32-pound springs on eBay, and I've ordered them, and they should be coming within the next week or so. But I'll get these push rods on order. Like I said, I got my 10 thousandths head gasket that will go in there, and should be good. Once we put the 10 thousandths head gasket in there, we torque it all down. We'll go back to see what size push rods, if it changed at all. I know it won't come in close to working with these 260s, but the 200s probably will work. So yeah, I'm gonna get this taken back apart, get the head off. I'm gonna finish putting in the head studs. We'll put the head gasket in and we'll torque it down. I really enjoy this engine building stuff. It's challenging, you know. I'm gonna go ahead and take the lash off and back about. Now, none of this stuff has been torqued. It's tight, but it's not torqued. So, ow, that just tore some skin. Champion rockers. I'll use these for now until I get something better. They're good rockers though. Go ahead and pull out the stock push rods. You can see, my table's not level. You can see the little difference between the 260 and the 200. So I'll be ordering up the 200 push rods here probably today after we get done with this. But for the meantime, we can check all the geometry with the stock ones. Now, let's see. I didn't torque this down. It's tight, but it's not torqued down. We can loosen them up. This is the stainless steel hardware I got from Paul's Karts. You guys need to check out his website for all the cool stuff he has on there. I had some oil in the cylinder. Got it all over. Okay, so I'm going to double nut these. I'm going to finish putting these in. I'll put a little bit of Loctite on them, and we'll double nut them and tighten them down all the way. They're 13 millimeter. I'm going to get that done, and so the head studs are all in. They're good and tight. We've got the new gasket on, and we'll just go ahead and set the head on there. This time, I will be torquing it to the 18 foot-pounds, I believe, and get this thing down tight where it should be. This is really nice hardware. This is the stainless steel hardware that we picked up from Paul's Karts. You should really check it out. It's nice stuff. Going to be a lot stronger than the stuff that came with these engines. Shouldn't lift this head. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's going to take 2 fingers to get that in there and started. There we go. Got it. Same with this one. Get my fingers in there. My big old fingers. This one's proving to be a problem too. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and run them down, get my torque wrench, and torque them to 18 foot-pounds. And then we'll be golden to get going on the valves again. Alright, so after installing the head gasket and torquing the head down to 18 foot-pounds, actually it was closer to 20 by the time I was done. I believe the specification is 17, but I got a little extra torque on it. I don't think it'll hurt it any. But after I did that, I tried the 260, the 5.260 push rods, and I think they might work now. Now that it's torqued down right, everything is good. These bolts here are also 17 foot-pounds, I believe. Yeah, foot-pounds, I believe. But or maybe 7. Maybe it's 7 foot-pounds. 7 foot-pounds. But I got a little bit of play there. I can go ahead and lap those or lash those to the 3000s, and I believe we'll be good. I've got my 3000s right here. I'm gonna stick it in, turn it down, just to where it gets a little drag on it. All right, so I've got them adjusted down to 3000s. Pretty good. Exhaust a little bit tighter than the intake, but I think it'll be fine. The exhaust is where the compression release is, so we want to make sure that gets really good. So I'm happy with that, you know. Now the engine's pretty hard to turn over. I mean, it does turn over, but I like to use a little wrench. Makes it a little bit easier. Oh, going the wrong way. Up. That was top dead center. There's the exhaust. Now when I've got the valves all the way open, I'm looking for coil bind, and I don't see any. It looks pretty good on the exhaust side. Let's take a look at the intake side. Yeah, I think we're good. I don't see any coil bind. Got some weird sounds there. I think we're good. We'll go ahead and put the valve covers together. And now I want to paint this engine, but I think I'm going to run it first. I think I'm going to run it, make sure it runs good, and then I'll take it apart and paint it. Shouldn't be a problem. So the head, everything looks good. I've turned it over many times. I've double checked the lash. I'm happy with it. It looks perfect. So we're going to put the valve cover on. Now I'm using 2 parts to my valve cover. I've got a spacer here, which I don't need. I want it basically for the fitting. So the bolts that came with this valve cover were too short. If you see, I had to get some that these are, I think, 30 mil or 25 millimeter, these, and I had to get some that were 45 to get it to do what I want, because I want the bolts to go through, and then to go through this piece as well. So yeah, I had to get longer bolts. Those didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich the gasket. We're going to sandwich the gasket. We got like this, then we're going to stick this part on, and then we're going to have another gasket. That will sandwich everything all together, and we'll be able to screw it down. I'm just going to go ahead and get one of them started, and then we'll get the other ones. I don't want to tighten it down because I do have so many pieces. I want to make sure I get them all lined up first before I go and run them in. So there, it should be all lined up now. Let me get the other 2 bolts. All I did was buy a little kit off Amazon like this that came with M6 hex socket screw set, 68 pieces. So, well, actually they're 40 millimeter. I thought they were 45. I thought I ordered 45, but the 40 works. I know I selected 45 in the box. Oh well. These do work, however. And I know there's a torque specification for these. I'm just gonna go in there and just wrench them good by hand. I can tighten it up if it starts to leak. There we go. I like that. Looks nice, huh? So these 2 will be from the block breather, and this one will go to a PVC. Excuse me, PVC. Duh, piece of pipe. This one will go to a PCV valve or to the catch can. Is what I want. I don't know if I'll have a catch can right away, so I'll probably go with a check valve. And I had to put a plug on this hole because that one gets in the way of the spark plug. When the spark plug is installed, the boot is right here, and you can't get the barb on it. So even though that is a 45-degree angle, I just went ahead and blocked that one. If I figure I have to drill new ones into the side and tap them for extra vents or for catch cans, whatever, then I'll do that. That's not a problem. I can easily mark it, drill it, even mark this one and drill this one on the side, wherever, you know. It'll look good. So yeah, it's really coming along, getting back together. Now these red anodized AN fittings are for this line. I made these lines up yesterday. I know I didn't show that, but they screw on. I wish I would have went with a larger diameter. I know these will probably be too small, but they'll work for the most part, and I can always change it later. I can get, this is 1/4 inch, and I can get the longer ones later, or the larger diameter. There we go. There. Then I'll just have one more here. I'm thinking about doing the same thing with an AN fitting here, and just having the same line come out here to a filter with a check valve, or to the catch can. I like it. I like the way it looks. Yeah, it looks really nice. I still want to paint it. I probably will, but for now, that's what we got. So I really thought that this rocker geometry was going to be something harder to figure out. I mean, not harder, but it was, excuse me, it was going to take more time. Once I had the head torqued down with the head gasket and everything, it just kind of fit. It all kind of worked. So goes to show, I guess, make sure it's torqued before you start sizing up your parts. Because when I had it just all tightened down, the 5260 rods wouldn't work. The stock push rods would work, which are 5.200, and these 5.260 seem to work just fine now that it's all torqued in. So I'm very happy with what it's got. Looks amazing. Like I said, I thought it was going to be more difficult, more harebrained, more pull out what's left of my hair frustration, but it really wasn't. It all just kind of worked. So there you go. There it is. And I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks really good. I like that. I built this swivel base yesterday. I had this piece of plywood laying around, or yeah, plywood. Then I put some cardboard on top just to catch the dirts and oils. And then I bought a bearing on the bottom that it screws to. And it had some bad reviews. People said it wouldn't spin, but I found when it was screwed into the plywood, it wouldn't spin also. So all I did was put a little washer underneath between the wood and the bearings, and it spins perfect. I'm very happy with it. So a little spinning turntable for my projects makes it easier to work on rather than trying to muscle it around all the time. And all right. Well, this is a short video, and it actually turned out perfect with the geometry of the valve train. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And check out my playlist with my other builds on there. With build now for the 212, I've got the 79cc, and I've got, of course, the 224cc Predator there. And the Briggs. The Briggs build will be coming up. It's got a little playlist too. And I'll be having more videos on building that one as soon as I'm done with this one. We'll get that Briggs off of there and put it on the table up here and take it all apart. But for now, this one's turning out really good. And before you know it, this thing will be starting up. So, yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time in the next episode.